What's up, people? It's your boy Khyrie back with another video at Renaisounds. Today we will be talking about how Michael Jackson has already done what Kanye West is trying to do. So we all see Kanye West on Twitter talking about the importance of artists owning their masters and making it his personal mission to get artists their masters back. And so while I'm seeing Kanye do this, I'm thinking that somebody kind of already did what Kanye is trying to do, and that person would be Michael Jackson. So Michael Jackson made, to me, the biggest music deal in the history of music when he purchased what we call the ATV catalog. So before we get into exactly what the ATV catalog is, let's back up a little bit. So Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney, who is a member of the legendary group The Beatles, did a lot of work together. They collaborated. And so on one of their collaborations called Say, 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 on the video shoot, Paul McCartney was discussing with Michael the importance of publishing and how it's a lot of money to be made in owning catalogs and things of that nature. So Michael took this advice very seriously and immediately started looking into publishing. So the ATV catalog that Michael eventually ended up purchasing for $47.5 million included, ironically, the rights to the Beatles catalog, as well as songs by Bruce Springsteen, Cher, Elvis, Little Richard, the Rolling Stones. And that's just a few of the thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of songs in that catalog. So I know there's been a lot of speculation about Michael going behind Paul's back after their conversation and doing it kind of sneakily, going behind Paul's in purchasing the catalog. But the actual story is that before Michael went to purchase or set in motion to purchase this catalog, he actually had a conversation with Paul McCartney and Yoko Ono, which is John Lennon's wife, and asked them, did they want, or were they bidding on the catalog themselves? And both of them said no. So after that information, Michael went ahead and did what he had to do. So Michael purchases the ATV catalog, like I said, for $47.5 million. And at this point, Michael is already the biggest name in music history at this point. So this is 1985. The purchase was completed. And 3 years earlier, Thriller was released, which is the biggest selling album of all time. Still the biggest selling album of all time. You had the Thriller video. Michael re-evolutionized videos. He re-evolutionized a lot of things. So, like I said, at this point, Michael is the biggest star the earth has ever seen. So with this business deal that he made, he now became the most powerful man the music business had ever seen. This black man, because this is important, this black man owned the whitest group, the group that white people love the most, the Beatles. He owned their whole catalog. He owned songs to another white hero, Elvis. He owned some of the songs to another favorite white group, the Rolling Stones. Think about the power that this man had. And I want to stay on subject, but I want you to see a timeline, right? So right after the completion of this sale and Michael owning all the rights to these songs, a smear campaign kind of happened. You start seeing, headlines about, him buying elephant bones or sleeping in a chamber, or, all these wacko jackal stories started to come about soon after this, and I wonder why. But that's another video. So let's get back on track. So Sony saw the value in this ATV catalog, right? And they wanted to buy it from Michael. And Michael was like, nah, we can merge though. So he ended up selling. They ended up merging, and Sony ended up giving him $100 million for 50% of the ATV. So they ended up merging, and it was called Sony ATV Catalog. And this became the biggest publishing catalog in history. So you had Sony, which is this huge corporation, and then Michael Jackson is a one man that had all his power. It owned, literally owned 50% of the music industry, which is insane when you think about it. So the reason I say he kind of already did what Kanye did, somewhat at least, is that, like I mentioned earlier, he did own the songs of Little Richard, Sly and Family Stone, and a lot of other black artists that got screwed on their masters. Like a lot of black artists and artists overall, but especially black artists, have, been screwed over time when it comes to their masters and contracts. So Michael actually gave Little Richard, Sly and the Family Stone, and a lot of other black artists their masters back, right? So Michael was in a position to where he owned all these songs, so he can do whatever he wanted to with them. For instance, like you couldn't play a Beatles song on a commercial unless Michael signed off on it. That's the power he had, and he used that power to empower other black artists that was his heroes and that, he looked up to, and he saw they got screwed by the music business, and he ended up giving them back their masters. So I just found this out. So this is a little nugget, which makes me think that Paul McCartney might not have put Michael on the publishing game. He just put him on, that ATV catalog. But I just found out that Michael actually got into publishing game in 1980, and he started a publishing catalog called My Jack, which contained his own music. Every song that Michael Jackson has written, he owns 100%, and obviously that's worth a lot of money because it's Michael Jackson. Also in his catalog, it was Sly and the Family Stone, which I said earlier. He has some Ray Charles songs, some Elvis songs in that one also, and Aretha Franklin. And some of those songs in that catalog include Ain't No Stopping Us Now, If You Don't Know Me By Now, When a Man Loves a Woman, Love Train. These are like classic songs that Michael owned. So I think Michael was a pioneer, and I don't think anybody has been able to duplicate this amazing business moves, plural, that he did. The My Jack catalog in 1980, the ATV purchase in 85, and eventually the merger with Sony, was just like game changing. And it put him in a position to help other artists retain their masters, which from Kanye's tweets is what he's trying to do. I would love a documentary on Michael the businessman because it does not get enough credit. So I don't know if there's any catalogs or publishing catalogs out there for sale. Maybe Kanye needs to look into that so he can start, going about the business of giving artists their masters back, which he says he wants to do. Because I'm not so sure that negotiating with the record companies is going to work, because why would they, from a business perspective, give the artists their masters back? I just don't see a corporation doing that. So maybe he needs to, call up John Branca, which was Michael's lawyer at the time, and see about buying some catalogs and do it that way, because I think that'll be the more efficient way if possible. So guys, like, subscribe, comment, tell me what you think. Tell me, did you have any idea that Michael Jackson owned half of the music industry? Let me know. Thank you for listening.